Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to solve questions of VOR chapter in Keith Williams' Radio Navigation book. The questions we are going to solve today will be from question 81 to question number 90. So let's start. Question 81. A VOR is sighted at position A. An aircraft is located at position B. Variation at both places is given to you. What is the radial on which aircraft is situated? So VOR is directly to the north of aircraft, right? VOR is directly to the north of aircraft because VOR is at 45 degree north and aircraft is at 44 degree north. So the radial, that means aircraft is located on radial 180. True. Now we have to find radial in magnetic direction because all VOR radials are magnetic. So use the variation existing at VOR. So it's given that magnetic variation at VOR is 10 degree west. Make sure that you are using the variation at VOR station only. So read the question carefully because you may be knowing that the variation to be used is at VOR station. But if you have not read the question carefully, you may get confused and use the wrong variation even after knowing that the variation to be used is one at VOR, right? So position A of VOR. Okay, so uh, confirm that and then let's apply 180 plus 10 is 190. So aircraft is situated on radial 190 magnetic 190 magnetic from VOR. Variation west magnetic will be west. So option C is the correct option. Question 82. Airway which is 10 nautical mile wide, 5 nautical miles either side of the center line of the radial is to be defined by two VORs, each having a bearing accuracy of plus and minus 5.5. In order to ensure accurate track guidance within the airway, the maximum distance apart from the transmitter is approximately what? So that means we have to find out the distance between these two VOR transmitters. So this is VOR 1, let's say. This is VOR number 2. We have to find the total distance between these two. So let's divide that total distance in half and calculate the first half. The angle is 5.5 degree. The airway is 5 nautical mile wide on either side. Okay, so that means this will be 5. We have to calculate this. Let's calculate this. So by using tan theta formula, tan theta which is tan 5.5, opposite which is 5 divided by adjacent which is x. So x is 5 divided by tan of 5.5. So 5 divided by tan 5.5 is 51.9 or 52 nautical miles. So this is 52. So if this is 52, this will also be equal to 52. So the total distance is 104 nautical miles. So the distance between the two transmitters is 104 nautical miles. So option A is the closest option. Let's go to question 83. Aircraft is required to approach a VOR station, that means to fly inbound via 104-degree radial. Which of the following settings should be made on the deviation indicator? So this is your VOR station and this is the radial 104. Okay, you can fly this radial 104 and go inbound and you can also go outbound. So now we have to go inbound. In order to go inbound, what setting will you do in the OBS? You will do a setting which is the reciprocal of 104,284 in the OBS selector, so as to get two indication and the needle in the center provided the aircraft is tracking center line of the radial. So the correct answer is 284 degrees with 2 indication. Okay. So read the question carefully. Approach, that means going inbound. Radial is 104. So on 104 radial you are going inbound. Question 84. Aircraft is required to approach a VOR via 244 radial. So which setting should be made on the deviation indicator? Very simple. This is your VOR station and your aircraft is on radial 244. You intend to fly inbound. ठीक है, so opposite of radial 244 is 064. So the correct OBS setting will be 064 with a 2 indication, needle in the center provided aircraft tracks the center line of the radial. So 064 with a 2 indication. Simple. Read the question carefully, draw the diagram and you get the answer. Question 85. What is the range that aircraft at flight level 150 will receive signals from a VOR at 600 feet? So range formula is 1.23 H1 plus H2 1.23 15,000 so 9. Square root of 15,000 is 122. Square root of 609 is 25. 1.23 into 147. 181. So approximately 181 nautical miles. Remember this. Question 86. An RMI is slaved to a compass which has gone unserviceable. So the compass is not working properly. Therefore, the magnetic heading given by your RMI will also be wrong and is locked onto a reading of 090 degrees. The tail of the VOR needle shows 135 degrees. The available information from the VOR is what? So, in this case, this is your RMI. The magnetic heading indicated is 090 and the VOR needle is pointing. VOR needle is the tail of the VOR needle is pointing at 135. The head will be pointing towards 315. So the tail indicates the radial your aircraft is situated on. So the correct option will be between option C and D. So radial 135 is the correct one, right? So the indirectly your answer is option Charlie. 315 is the track towards the station, not track from the station. And relative bearing is unknown. Why? Relative bearing formula is what? QDM minus your heading. Now in this case you know QDM, which is 315. But since the heading that you are receiving from the station or from the compass correction is wrong, is unserviceable, that's why the heading that you will be getting will be wrong. And that's why you will be unable to determine the relative bearing between your aircraft and the VOR station. But you will still come to know about the radial your aircraft is situated on, okay, because the signal, variable signal that your aircraft is receiving from the VOR station on the ground will indicate the radial, that is 135, okay, where the tail is pointing. And if tail is pointing at 135, indirectly the arrow will be pointing towards the track, towards the station 315. So these two values will be correct, but relative bearing will be wrong because heading is wrong. Okay, so remember this answer. Next, aircraft is at 6,400 feet. VOR is at 100 feet. What will be the range? Again, 1.23 square root of 6,400 divide plus square root of 100. So 1.23 80 10 to 90, 110 decimal 7. So approximately option A. 110 is closer to 113. Question 88. Aircraft is at flight level 10,000 plus 100. 1.23 square root of 10,000 will be 100 and square root of 100 is 10. So 1.23 into 110 is 135.3. So the closest is option A, 137. Question 89. Aircraft is on a radial 120 and heading is 300. The track selector reads 330. The indications on the CDI will be what? So very simple. This is your VOR station. You are on radial 120 and heading of aircraft is 300. So aircraft is flying directly towards the VOR station. By looking at this heading, you can know that aircraft is flying towards the VOR station. Towards the VOR station. Now in your OBS selector, if you put 300, you will get a 2 indication. But you have put, pilot has put radial 330. So if you put radial 330, you will still get a 2 indication. You will still get, now with 300 indication, your CDI needle will remain in the center. Why? Because you are tracking radial 120 inbound correctly. That is on the center line. So needle remains in the same. But when you put 330 here, you get a 2 indication. That's fine. But what will be the position of the CDI needle? Will it go to the left or will it go to the right? So to know that, you will have to draw a radial 330 reciprocal, which is radial 150. Radial 150. Now to go to onto radial 300, you have to fly inbound on radial 120. Similarly, to go on to radial 330, you will have to fly inbound radial 150, overfly this VOR and then transition onto radial 330. So what will the CDI needle tell you? It will tell you to go left hand to go to the left hand side. It will tell you to go to the left hand side so as to intercept radial 150 and then fly inbound towards the VOR. Once you fly inbound towards the VOR and after overflying it, the OBS selection will remain 330, needle will remain in the center and 2 will become prompt. Once you overfly this VOR and transition on the other side of VOR on radial 330, now you will be flying away from the VOR. So 2 becomes prompt. Over here, the 330 will remain, 2 will remain and the needle will remain in the center as long as you are approaching VOR. But at this point, at this position, what will happen? When you put 330, and 2 indication, the CDI needle will go to the left hand side. The CDI needle will go to the left hand side, telling you go left so as to intercept this radial 150. Now going inbound, this is your left side, this is your right side. Going outbound, this is your left side, this is your right side. So therefore it's very important that you put the correct OBS setting to get the correct indication or normal sensing indication. Okay. So the CDI needle will go to the left hand side asking you to fly left or turn left. Okay. Smiley. Let's go to next question. Question 90. CDI for a VOR is elected 090 degrees. From and to indicator is showing you 2. CDI needle is deflected halfway to the right. On what radial is aircraft situated? Very simple. VOR station is here. This is radial 270. This is radial 090. Now the obvious selection is 090 with a 2 indication. That means aircraft is flying on radial 270 inbound. On radial 270 inbound. Okay. In that case, we will put 090 in the setting to get 2 indication. If aircraft is correctly on the center line of the radial, the CDI needle will also remain in the center. But in this question, it's given that the CDI needle has moved to the right hand side. Has moved to the right hand side. Okay. Now, if the needle has moved to the right hand side, that means your aircraft is somewhere deviated to the left hand side. Going inbound, this is your left, this is your right. So that means aircraft has deviated to the left of the track, and therefore CDI needle is asking pilot to go to the right hand side. So aircraft, instead of being on the center line, it's somewhere to the left of it. That means somewhere here, somewhere over here. Okay. So it will be a radial, it will be on some radial from that VOR. Okay, it will be some radial. Now that radial will be definitely more than 270, 280, 290. We don't know. So to find that out, we have to read this again. Halfway to the right hand side. So halfway. The meaning of half is what? Now in case of VOR, 1 dot is equal to 2 degrees. 1 dot is equal to 2 degrees. So if there are 5 dots, okay, so 1 dot is 2 degree, 5 dots will be equal to 10-degree deflection. Now halfway, that means half of 10 degree is 2.5 dot or 5 degrees. Okay, so that means your airplane has deviated from its track by 5 degrees. So 5 degrees, that means this radial will be 270 plus 5, 275. So aircraft is on radial 275, and therefore the needle has moved halfway to the right, that is 2.5 dots to the right, telling pilot to turn right hand side so as to intercept this radial and fly inbound on radial 270. So on what radial is aircraft situated? Aircraft is situated on radial 275. It should be situated on radial 270, but it is situated on radial 275. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of this lecture. I hope you have understood all the 10 questions I have solved now. If you have any doubts, queries, questions, let me know in the comment box below. If you have any feedback, let me know that too. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and share this video with all your friends. Keep practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.